forward, folks. There's one of them newfangled horseless carriages coming.
It is a pleasure, an honor, to break bread with you on this delightful afternoon.
Suave? Goddamn, you're one suave fucker.
Hey there, everybody. PTPOP here with all four lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back. And the job market is El Stinkerino, isn't it? It's awful. And I know in the past I've only talked about call centers, but my job search process, I'm finding out, is not just isolated to Cleveland, Ohio. People around the country, if not around the world, are struggling to find a job. And I want to talk about that today by showing you some other people's struggles from around our fine world. And I found this one video here. This is from @Off Topic Show. And he's got a really good point here that nobody can find jobs. But he shows this one guy having a rant, which I've been in my car like, what the hell's going on? Why can't I find a job? I've applied since August of 24. I've applied to over 500 jobs on 4 different job search platforms, and I haven't gotten any real legitimate interviews yet. So let's see what this guy has to say.
Very thankful for Elon Musk exposing the wasteful spending of our government. Some people across the United States are having a mental breakdown because they can't get a job. And this is Joe Biden's fault, by the way.
I just want to know why it's so hard to get a job, man. In 2025, it is literally impossible, bro. When you do, you get 7 rounds of interviews for some reason, man. Just for them to go with another candidate. You cannot find a job in 2025. It is literally impossible. And I keep crashing out about it. How the are we ever gonna find a job? Why is it so hard, man?
I get it, man. I understand that completely because, as I've said in other videos, you know, and I don't mean this to be racist, but I'm finding out what it's like to be a minority. Because now I'm white, I'm old, okay? White and old, and nobody wants to hire me because they think I can't do anything. They think I'm broke dick. And it's humbling, it's frustrating, it's sad, it's scary. I'm more than qualified to do all the jobs I apply for. I don't apply for like head surgeon of the Cleveland Clinic. I'm applying for stuff that I'm qualified for. And I've done this too. With Channel 5 here in Cleveland, WEWS, or they call it WOOS. It's a TV station here in Cleveland, and I was more than qualified to do an editor position. It was an entry-level editor position, and they put me through like 5 or 6 interviews, and then they gave me this really fucked up test, editor's test. I had no idea what the directives meant in it, and then they turned me down. And it's a weird world out there, and I don't know how anybody's making it. Now, this is a funny one. This is a funny one. Let me see what you think of this.
Are 4 things that you are probably doing wrong. Because if you...
So these are 4 things that this woman says. This is Anna Papalia, and she's replying to @Daisy Seabrook. Are you looking for a job but can't get an interview? Here are 4 things you're doing wrong. Now, this is from 2024. But let's see what she has to say, what we're all doing wrong here.
You've applied to over 300 companies and you haven't gotten scheduled an interview, there's an issue. 4, did you update your resume on a modern template? Or did you just take the old template that you've been using for the last 10 years and you just squished your old job on it?
Okay, all right, hold on a second here. So you're trying to tell me that if you're using an old job template for your resume, that the geniuses that work in HR are going, hey, Bill, I like this guy's background, but he's using an old job template for their resume. I don't think he's a good candidate. He's not up to date on his resume templates, and I think we should really put this guy's application in the circular file. Yeah, Jake, I think you're right. That outdated resume template, that's doing him in. It's doing him in big time. Yeah. I come on, guys. The people I know that work in HR, they're not sitting down looking at the modernness or the how contemporary your resume is. Most of these people can barely chew bubblegum and walk at the same time. Not to mention the fact they don't have time to sit down there and look at your resume and go, "Oh my God, this resume, it's so old-fashioned." If you're qualified, one would think that they'd go, this guy's qualified. I don't care if his resume is written on a napkin. I'll be fine. This says, just trying to stay sane after 6-month job search with 17 years of experience. Never thought that I would find myself here, but here we are. My wife just went through this. My wife is the consummate employee. She is magnificent. I can't say enough about my wife, and that's how we met. She was the branch manager of a bank where I did my banking, and I was absolutely fascinated with how she handled my questions and my account with handling 2 other customers at the same time, flawlessly, professionally, in a friendly, polite, caring manner. It was mind-blowing. I stood there watching her going, wow, because I've been in customer service my whole life. And my wife has 20 years of experience, at least 20 years of experience in her field. And it took her almost a year to find a job. And the only reason she found one is because she had a friend that worked at another company that got her in there. That's it. She applied to hundreds of jobs, just like I did during the same time frame. So let's hear what this woman has to say. This is Tanya Cool. Job market really sucks. This is from 3 days ago.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to stop judging people who are on the job search. You need to stop saying things like, everybody's hiring, or the job market's not tough, unemployment is at an all-time low, or even...
I don't know who is sick of this too. I am too. You talk to friends, you talk to relatives. They're like, well, back in my day, it was so easy to find a job. Why don't you just go and knock on the HR door? I mean, there are people who are older than me that just have absolutely no clue what the job market is like. And they're just, well, you just go fill out an application somewhere, you'll get a job. A friend of mine said, go get a job at Costco. They've got good benefits, and everybody likes to work there. It's a good place to work. So I go down to Costco, and, I don't remember if I filled out an application in person. No, I had to do it. I went down there because everyone said, just go to Costco. They'll take an application right there. So I run down to Costco, which is like 5 miles from my house. They're like, no, you gotta go home and fill out an application online. So I go up, and fill out an application online, and I hear nothing from anyone. So I go back down to the store and talk to the manager. He's like, well, you just gotta keep applying. Keep applying. It's a popular store. There's a lot of people that want to work here. Apply closer to the holiday season. I mean, there is no easy answer, but this guy's got a good point.
Needs to hear this, but you need to stop judging people who are on the job search. You need to stop saying things like, everybody's hiring, or the job market.
Everybody's not hiring. I don't know. I've heard that too. Where do people get this idea that everybody's hiring and the economy is good?
I've been in recruiting for coming up to a decade, and I've never seen job seekers struggle as much as they are right now. In fact, other than the last few years, over the past decade, it has been a candidate market. Most companies...
Now, this is the realist recruiter. He posted this 3 days ago.
Especially for corporate positions, they are getting thousands of applicants. That's why we're seeing longer rounds of interviews. That's why we're seeing more assessments. That's why we're seeing companies be really, really picky. And it's why we're seeing lowball offers going out right now. If you want to know what it's like being on the job market, just think about applying to hundreds and thousands of jobs and not hearing anything from 99% of those companies. And then when you do hear back from them, it's either a scam, some kind of MLM, or they want you to go through 20 rounds of interviews.
Oh yeah. I can't begin to tell you the most recent job I applied to a job for a law firm here in Cleveland, and it was a customer service position inbound. No, it was outbound. It was outbound collections. And I talked to you guys about this in one of my drive-bys, my live things on the drives I do, and I figured, hey, it's a law firm. I've never heard of this law firm. It's got to be a pretty good job. It's outbound doing collections. And I know collections is brutal, just beyond brutal. But I got a call from this guy, and it turned out, after I did some more research in the company, almost immediately they called me. They called me the next day. Within 12 hours, they called me, and I knew that was a bad sign. They were desperate for employees. Then I did some additional research and I found out they had like an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. They had hundreds of claims against this firm for illegal collection practices. And I had originally accepted the job interview, but I called the guy back and said, forget it. Or I wrote him an email, so I'm not coming in. This is God's plan. Divine intervention on job hunting. Discover divine guidance in career decisions. This video explores how faith influences job opportunities, examining situations that are seemingly perfect. So let's hear what this guy has to say.
You know you got the degree set. You know you got the skill set. You know you've got everything to do this job. But God says, I see something else in this particular job that, hallelujah, that you don't see. I see the people that are in management. I see the people, amen, that have a haughty spirit. And as soon as you walk through this door, they will give you hell. And God says, I just brought you out of hell. So why would I bring you something out of hell to put you back into something in hell? God is saying this is a new season of divine opportunities.
Well, I prejudged this gentleman, and I see what he's saying, okay? Because I've worked, as we all have, in these call centers that are absolute, complete garbage hell. And what have I been doing for like the last couple of years? I've been trying to get back into there. And if there is this magical man in the clouds, he's saying, hey, dude, I keep telling you, no, I don't want you back in there because I just saved you from going in there. Why do you want to go back? And I think that's why I keep getting rejected from some of these offers, some of these places, because maybe there's divine intervention. Maybe God is saying, hey, I got a bigger plan for you. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's all these gizmos and cameras and microphones and stuff. Maybe I'm supposed to be spreading a different word in a different way and making living a different way. I'm still waiting, God. I'm still only making like $100 a month at this. So anytime you want to shower me with some money because I've been a faithful little servant here who's just, whatever. But this guy's saying, stop trying to get into situations you don't want to be in. Or situations I just saved you from. Stop trying to go back to those situations. And this is NLRM 26.
So I just got home from a job interview, and this is a warning for anybody who applies for jobs on Indeed. So I pull up to the location. I'm not going to name it, but it is a tanning salon. The tanning salon is well known all through America. The job posting said store manager position. I read through it. I've been in retail for over 10 years, so I was like, I'd love to try this out. So I get there, and I'm under the impression that there's a store manager position for at least $24 an hour, but there is a pay range on there. So I sit down with the interviewer, which looked like an associate. Should have been red flag number 1. And she starts asking me some really basic questions, like, what is your availability? Do you have reliable transportation? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm 32 years old with children and been in the job market for over a decade. Yes, I'm here, aren't I? So we end up going through some more basic questions, and in my mind, I'm like, something.
So the title of this video says Job Seeker. This is Shoni _Shoni. It says, I was catfished and I am flabbergasted.
Something isn't right. Like, I don't know. I'm wondering. So then she starts asking me about like job history, and I'm explaining to her, I know how to do payroll, scheduling, onboarding, leadership, team building, evaluations, things that management in retail should know how to do, right? Well, it gets to the question that she's like, where do you see yourself in 2 years? And normally I am used to the where you see yourself in 5 years thing. So I'm like, in 2 years, that goes by pretty fast, but, I see myself there so we can get more applicants, but really this is an associate full-time position for $11 an hour.
Oh my God.
So you mean to tell me I applied for a store manager position? I prepared for a store manager interview. I worried about this for days, trying to prepare myself to have the best interview possible to become a store manager. But you're telling me you want me to sell $200 bottles of tanning lotion in this economy for $11 an hour.
Wow, that's crazy. And you see a lot of this today. These companies are crazy. They're just crazy. I don't know how. The only way the owners of some of these companies can sleep at night is if they are unfeeling sociopaths who don't care about anybody but themselves. I've had these jobs. As I've told you, I've had places where they bring me in for one job, like AutoZone. I applied for a driver position with AutoZone. Cool. Drive their truck. How's it? Well, you know, I thought this would be great. I go in for the interview. The guy says, well, you got to drive. You got to drive not only here in Cleveland, but you've got to drive all the way out to Toledo. And then you've got to drive out to Youngstown. And you've got to drive to Canton. Now, from where this store was located, where I'm located, that's a 2-hour drive in every direction. Almost 2 hours, hour and a half at minimum, depending on traffic. And in the weather here in Northeast Ohio, it's crazy. And then I found out that I don't want to be customer facing. I do not want to run a cash register. I'm terrible at it. I don't want to do it. I hate it. I told the guy that. Turns out I called to get some information about my job. And the guy that answered the phone said, well, you got to be here on this date to learn to run the cash register. I'm like, no, I'm not running a cash register. I was hired to drive a truck. And he said, well, our truck drivers also run the cash register when people don't show up to work and stuff like that. I'm like, people are doing this all the time.
You know, I have been unemployed since November 1st.
Now, this is What's Your Deal, DYL. She posted this 3 days ago.
And your girl's running on steam with this application process because no one is even replying. I am emailing and applying.
I like her sweatshirt. I do. I like that sweatshirt.
Applying, and I'm putting my resume, like they have their job description, and I'm emailing people, and I'm trying to connect with people on LinkedIn, and I'm trying to keep my spirits.
Damn, eat that Cheeto, girl. Eat it. She's got that Cheeto in her hand, and I just want to snatch it out of her hand and eat it.
Up, and I'm sending good vibes out in the universe, and nothing.
Maybe it's a pretzel.
I've gotten maybe 2 responses, and from the videos, or not the video screen, but the phone screen, nothing.
Oh, thank you. She ate it. Oh. Sven, are you hungry watching her? I am too. Yeah, I mean, she's right. I'm making fun of her Cheetos there in her hand, but I sent out hundreds of applications in 2024 on multiple job search engines. And I didn't hear back from probably 99% of them. Nothing. Even the ones that said they'd reply in 2 weeks. Now, I don't have like a schlep resume. It's not like I wrote it on a napkin and, you know, it's got turds on it or something. And people are like, no. It was probably because I don't have that updated modern resume template. I was using the outdated resume template. That's probably why. Hey, Bill, this guy, he's qualified, but he's got that outdated resume template. I don't think we should bring him in for an interview. What do you think?
Hey, does anybody know, are workplaces still, like, hiring people to do work? Like, you know...
No, I don't think so. I think people are... I don't know how anybody's surviving because apparently nobody's hiring, but they're hiring. Go figure that one out.
You go to your job, right, where you go to work every day. Well, do they still do that? Are we still all on board? Are we in agreement that we're all still doing that? Like... You know, you go to a place and you trade your time and ostensibly your presence for things like money and like benefits and stuff like that. Like, does that still exist?
So this is Grant.Mooney. Anybody else been applying for jobs over a year and can't get anything? What he says here. And This is from June of 2024. And people on here from just January are saying, so did you ever get a job? Because I still haven't.
Because here's the thing. I've been applying for jobs for, like, over a year now. And I got a part-time job. I'm working 2 jobs right now, and I've still been applying and stuff like that. And I can't even get an interview. Like, do they still do interviews? Is that still part of the process? I get that.
Doesn't he look like the guy from Office Space? He does. He looks like this guy. Yeah. No offense. This guy's a good actor. He was also in Band of Brothers. This is my favorite movie. If you want to see a good movie that mocks working in an office, it's supposed to be a caricature of working in an office, but it's really not. It's exactly what it's like to work in an office.
I'm kind of in like a weird position, and I don't know if anybody else is finding themselves in this position. But I'm a little older now. I'm going to turn 33 soon, and
33. Oh, I wish I was 33 again.
I've been self-employed for kind of a while, and I'm trying to get back into the field that I was pursuing before I became self-employed. And I can't do it. I can't get an entry-level job. I can't get a job answering phones. I can't get literally any full-time job that would give a 33-year-old boy such as I, healthcare.
An submitted 1,000 resumes to different jobs and has no luck, even though they've had 6-figure roles. And the reality is, there's no guarantee of anything, and it's extremely.
So this is Dan Schwabel. I think that's right, Schwabel. Don't give up on your job search. It is like playing the lottery, guys. And it's crazy because you send out 1,000 resumes, hoping to get one response back, and it's like playing the slot machines or something.
Competitive out there because you have so many layoffs of so many top companies that you're competing against people who are probably more qualified or have connections to the hiring manager that you don't.
JT.
So at the time that I'm recording this, the job market is pretty tight. The market has collapsed. There are layoffs happening every day. And so the market is flooded with talent. So if you're somebody that's never had a problem getting a job before, you might be shocked at how hard it is to get a job right now. And one of the reasons is that when there's this much talent out there, companies tend to want to hire the exact match because they have multiple people who are an exact match. So it's not that there's anything wrong with you, it's that it's highly competitive and you're going to have to apply techniques that will help you win.
Okay. So the job market is tough, and just plain and simple fact, it's just the way it is. It's worldwide, because I've got an audience here that's all over the globe. I just talked to a guy the other day from Australia. I talked to people from the UK, all over the place, and everybody's telling me the same thing. It's hard to find a job. Nobody can find work. And to me, it almost seems like a conspiracy from the higher-ups, the people that rule the world, have either decided to make it as impossible for us to find work, or they want us all to struggle. Because I don't trust these people. I don't trust the people that run this place. Why is it so hard? Why isn't somebody figured out a better way to do it? Why isn't somebody going, what's going on? Why do we need, do we need a Trump type person to come into the employment world and say, what are you all doing? There's people that want to work. You're making it too hard for them to find jobs. So let me know what you think. What has your job search been like if you're out there looking for work? Is it hard for you? Have you found a way around it? I have not found a way around it yet. I don't have any solutions for you here, but it's a tough job market. It's not just call centers. That you can get a job in a call center. You're not going to keep the job very long. You're going to be in it for a couple of months, and you'll either be fired or you'll walk out. So what have people found? What has your experience been like looking for a job? And let me know. Give me the thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope you're all having a good day. And I will talk to you all soon. Hasta la vista, baby.
Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that?